Hi, and welcome to Art with Mrs. Torres. Today we're going to be making a really cute pumpkin picture with a little surprise inside. For today's lesson, you're going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, a Sharpie marker, an eraser, and some crayons. Other than that, that's all we need. Let's get ready to start. Welcome back. You gathered up your items. You should have a piece of paper, a pencil, a Sharpie marker, an eraser, some crayons, and a piece of paper. So we're going to start with that piece of paper, and we're going to fold it right now. And the way we're going to fold it is tall. We're going to put our paper on our desk tall like a door. We're going to take the bottom of our paper and bring it all the way up to the top and fold our paper in half. Now, when we're done folding it in half, we're going to bring just the front page back down and line it up with the bottom of the paper. So we're going to bring it down like this. I'm going to hold it still with my fingers so it doesn't move. And I'm going to fold it this direction. So now I've got this little folded piece of paper that's going to open and close like this. And that will be the part of the pumpkin's mouth that opens. All right, let's get our pencil now. We're going to draw a large circle for our pumpkin. We're going to start right up here, just below the top of the paper. We're going to save a little room for a stem. We're going to make a little line where we want to start, and we're just going to make a big circle that goes around this paper. And as we're making this project today, if you need to pause the video while I'm drawing, if I'm going too fast, just stop the video. If you need to take a break, come on back, you can do that at any time. Now, once I've made my circle here, then I'm going to come up here to the top and make a stem. So I just make a little square or rectangle shape up at the top for my stem, for my pumpkin. And then the next part of our pumpkin is going to be the nose and the eyes. And if you'll notice, that needs to be above the fold. Even the top of his mouth needs to be above the fold. So the first thing we're going to actually draw is his mouth. I'm going to go right here above this fold, and I'm going to draw a line that comes kind of straight across at first, and then curves up on the sides. So he's smiling. And then the side of his mouth is going to come down from the corners. It's going to go up over this second piece of paper here on both sides. I'm going to bring it around and up the other side. And then if you want to add a tooth at the bottom, you could put a tooth in here. I put a tooth in mine. And you're going to add a little nose right here in the middle, so add a little nose. You can make a triangle shape or a circle shape. And then for the eyes, I'm just going to make some big triangles. So when I make my triangles, I start with the bottom first. Now you can do a straight line across, or you can give it a little slight curve like this. And then I'm just going to draw two big triangles for the eyes. Now, once I've drawn my little pumpkin face, I'm going to lower this little line right here on the corner of his mouth. So as you can see, I change my drawing and use my eraser too. So once you're done with this part of the drawing, then we're going to figure out how to draw the sides of the pumpkin. So we're going to have to open up our picture now, like this. And now we have the space in the middle. So we need to connect our lines so that when we open it up, our lines go all the way down. I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to connect these lines and connect these lines. And then I need to connect the two lines for the mouth. That is a gigantic mouth. And then we're going to figure out what are we going to put inside the mouth. So once we finish tracing everything with our marker, we can decide what we want to put in the mouth. But first, let's take our marker and kind of go over our lines and make sure that everything lines up. So we're going to get our Sharpie marker. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to put the lid on the back. And I'm very carefully going to trace it while it's closed. So I want to start with tracing it while it's closed. I'm going to come right up here to the top. I'm going to trace right over my pencil line. And as you're working with your marker, try not to push really hard with it. Sometimes when we push super hard with our marker, it makes a loud squeaky sound. And then I'm going to trace the stem. And then I'm going to come over here and trace the eyes. And the nose. And then I'm going to trace the top of the mouth because that's above the fold. I'm going to trace the top of the mouth first. That's the part that's above the fold. And then there's a little short line here and here for the mouth, and it's going to connect down to the folded part. So I'm going to very carefully trace the mouth. Now, when I get to the tooth, you can go directly across the tooth, or you can skip around it like this and erase that pencil line. So in my picture here, I erased the pencil line. And so the tooth looks like it's on the outside of the pumpkin, but you can also draw a line straight across it and you can still color it later. It'll either way. So if you trace it right across like this, it'll still look great. Now, once I'm done tracing all these lines, I'm going to add one more line curving around for the sections of the pumpkins. I'm just going to come right down here through the middle. I'm going to jump right over there and come back again. I'm going to match it on this side, so it's kind of going to look like a beach ball at first. And when I'm finished, I'm going to open it up. And now I'm going to trace my pencil lines for the open part. And I'm going to try to do my best to stay right along the pencil line. Now, the funny thing is, when I'm tracing these lines, I'm noticing that my mouth is so big, I'm going to have to figure out what I want to put inside my pumpkin's mouth. Now, in my first picture, I put a bat inside there. I also put a tongue in there, but you don't have to draw a tongue. If you are going to draw anything, you have to make sure that it doesn't overlap onto this little folded part. So, see this line right here? Anything that we draw has to be inside this section right here. It can't show when it's closed like this. It can't show on this side. So, I'm going to go back and use my pencil. Now I'm going to close up my marker. I'm going to go back and get my pencil and figure out what do I want to add inside the pumpkin. So I put a silly bat inside, and I can show you how to draw that. It's not hard at all. So to draw a bat right up here, and you want to make sure, like I said, that you don't go below this line right here. So to draw a bat, all I'm going to do is draw a circle, and then the letter V. And then for his wings, I'm going to go up and out and up and out. Now the next part of his wings, I'm going to make these rounded mountain shapes like this. I'm going to start right here and go 1, 2, 3. And do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to add 2 little ears, 2 eyes, and a smile. And you could even give him teeth. That wasn't very hard, was it? All right, let's take a minute now. We're going to go over our drawing with Sharpie marker. Okay, now let's take our Sharpie marker and we can trace over our bat. Trace over his wings. Trace over his little face. And then I like to add one extra line along the top of the wing. And then I drop one line that comes down from the tip right here. And then I just add a couple more lines that come down from the top. Makes his wings look like a real bat's wings. Now we can color this later when we get to our crayons. Now here's a couple other tricks that I like to do. In order to make the face look a little bit more like it's carved out of a pumpkin, I add an extra line on the side here and here. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw one extra line with my Sharpie marker there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, on this side. And then I'm going to add one extra line inside the nose. So I'm going to come right over here and add an extra line. And then we can color the eye triangle right here in black with our marker. We can color the eye in black with a marker on this side. And just a little space right here in the nose. So now it kind of looks like you've carved out of the pumpkin, and then we can color it a little bit bright yellow later. Now we're going to do the same thing to the mouth here, but we need to close it up first. So when we close it up, that helps us get the first line that comes all the way around like this. I'm going to match it on this side. And then when we open it up, we have to connect the line just like we did before. So I'm going to bring that line around. Oops, looks like my wing is right in front of the mouth, but that's okay. I'm going to line it up. And I'm going to add this line all the way down the same way. All right, when I'm finished, another thing I want to do is come up here to the stem and just add a few little lines up at the top of the stem. And then at the bottom, I'm just going to squiggle some little ziggity-zaggity lines for grass. Now, you can decide if you want to add a tongue or not. If you're going to add a tongue, it needs to be above this folded line right here, though. So that way, when you close it up, the mouth looks like this, but when you open it, you can see the tongue is right here. So if I'm going to add a tongue, I have to make it above that folded line right here. Now, when I close it up, you can't see the tongue, but I will color it red and you'll be able to see it when you open it. Okay, now I'm done with my drawing part. Now we're going to get ready to color. And I like to take my eraser first and erase my pencil lines. Now, the way that I erase my pencil lines is by opening my hand like this. I say that this is the duck's mouth, and then I erase only right here in the duck's mouth. I'm going to very carefully erase my pencil lines. If you have any pencil lines you need to get rid of. Brush my crumbs off. There we go. And then we're going to get ready to color. So for today, I am going to be using these crayons, my big chubby crayons. You can use the regular crayons that you probably have out of your crayon box, but just for the video, it's a little faster for me to use this big fat jumbo crayon. So the first thing I'm going to color, I'm going to use yellow, and I'm going to color this little inside part of the mouth right here, that little strip that goes all the way around. I like to start with the lighter colors first. Now the next part that I'm going to color yellow is up here, and that's the inside section of each eye and the inside section of the nose. Now when I'm finished with that, then I'm going to give my entire pumpkin a light coat of yellow. So I'm just going to start right up here at the top and very softly give my whole pumpkin a coat of yellow. So what this yellow is going to do is it's going to make the orange look really beautiful later. Don't forget that little tooth. That's a part of the pumpkin. All the way up the top and sides. And then when I'm done giving a light coat of yellow across the whole pumpkin, we'll add orange next. So once I've done with my yellow, then I'm going to go in and look for an orange crayon. Now, if I'm going too quick, you know, you can pause the video and then just start it whenever you're caught up. So now I'm going to take my orange crayon, and I kind of like to outline my pumpkin a little darker first. So I'm going to run my orange crayon a little bit heavier around the edge of my pumpkin. And then I'm going to run it down the little segment line right here. If you've ever seen a pumpkin, it has these little sections. And then I'm going to run my orange right around the edge of the mouth. And of course the tooth. So by outlining everything, it kind of helps everything show up a little brighter later. So I'm going to outline the nose and the eyes. I'm just kind of scribbling with my crayon. It doesn't have to be perfect. But once I've outlined it, now I can go in and color with my crayon. So because I put that yellow down first, it makes my orange look so pretty. So when you are using your crayons, you probably won't be able to color quite as fast as me because I'm using this big jumbo crayon, and it will take you a little bit longer to color. So just pause the video whenever you need to, and then turn it back on when you're caught up. When you're all finished coloring orange on your pumpkin, then we have to decide what color we're going to make our stem. What do you think we should make it? So I have some pumpkins in my front yard on the porch that I got from the pumpkin patch, and that most of them have a brown stem. So I was thinking maybe brown, but you could make a green stem. And then I have to decide what color I'm going to make my mouth. So I have to close up my picture and decide, because remember, when I open it up, it's going to be a tongue right here. So if I make this tongue red, then I have to make this part of the mouth red to match. So I can show you in my picture here. So here I made my mouth red, but I didn't want it to be red the whole way. So what I did was I added some purple at the bottom because I like purple. But you could make the whole mouth red all the way through. You could make it pink, for the tongue. You could have a purple tongue. You could have a bright green tongue. It's really up to you. So whatever you're coloring here, when you open it up, remember that's going to end up being the tongue. So I'm going to grab my red and I'm going to trace over my tongue. And I'm going to color my tongue red. And you're going to see that when I fold up my picture, I'm going to need to add a little bit of red up at the top of my picture too. So see when I fold it up, there's a little space right up here. So in order for it to match, I'm just going to add a little bit of red at the top of my mouth. I don't have to color the whole mouth red, just the top, so that when these connect, it looks like it's all one piece. All right, now that I've made my tongue red, I can go in and decide what color I want to make the inside of my mouth and what color I want to make my bat. So in my picture here, I made my bat black with a black crayon, and I made the bottom of his mouth kind of purple and blue. But I could change and maybe make a purple bat or a green bat. I think I'm gonna make a purple bat this time. And then I think I'm gonna make the inside of his mouth black this time, since I made the bat purple. So there's my beautiful purple bat. And now I can go in with my black crayon and I can color very softly. I don't want to color it really dark, but very softly I can color some black around the tongue. And up toward the bat. I don't have to color all the way up to him. It's just like this. And then I can match it at the top here. I can do the same thing. When you're all finished coloring your inside of the mouth, then you're going to color the grass underneath your pumpkin and the sky. So for my grass, I did my grass with the dark green, but if you have a light green and a dark green, it would be really pretty if you use both colors together. All right, that's done. Close it up, looking cute. So in my big chubby crayon, I only have a dark green, so I'll use that. But if you have a light green, like this color in my small crayon, these two colors together are so pretty. This grass has all different shades of green in it. So I might just mix the two together. And when you're all finished coloring your grass, then you have to decide what you're going to do with your sky. So now that you know how to make a bat, you could make some bats in the background up in the sky. You could draw little bats in the background flying. You could make some pretty colors of sky. The way I did mine is I just colored blue. I just scrabbled blue all the way across the paper while it was closed. And then when I opened it, I continued the blue here. And I just thought that made it really pretty. But if you want to keep your background white, you could do that also. And maybe just put some bats in the background. Well, I hope you had fun today doing our popping pumpkin. I think it's a lot of fun to do these projects, and I've been having a great time with you. If you want to send me a video of your artwork, a picture of your artwork, please send it to rtorres@lcusd.net. And I'll see you on our next lesson. Have a great day. Bye.